Good morning! Hello. So, I am back. I am Mambi at your service. For today, allow me to present to you my lesson about interpreting measures of position. So, we are now on week 3, quarter 4. Yan. So, remember last week, we discussed about the measures of position. Ngayon, ano ba ang gamit ng measures of position? Yan. So, syempre, gamit yan para mas ma-interpret natin ang mga data. So, let's see. For objectives of our lesson, we have first, recall quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. Next, recognize the connection between the definition of measures of position and its interpretation in a given distribution. Next, interpret a particular measure of position in a distribution and appreciate the importance of interpretation of measure of position in real life situations. Ayan. So, kailangan para mas maintindihan natin yung measure of position ay makuha natin kung ano yung importance nito sa real life situation. So, paano siya kahalaga sa ating buhay. So, magkaroon muna tayo ng short review. So, 5 tanong lang ito. So, the median score is also equal to what decile. So, para mas ma-interpret kasi natin yung mga measures of position, kailangan malaman natin yung mga similarities ng tatlo. Gaya nito sa number 1. So, saan equivalent ang median score in terms of decile? So, sige nga, try nyo nga. So, tama ba ang sagot nyo? It's equivalent to the fifth decile. So, median score is equivalent to fifth decile. Next, paano naman ang lower quartile? It's equal to what percentile? So, it's equivalent to P sub 25 or 25th percentile. Next, number 3, how about decile? Which decile determines 60% of the data? So, decile to percentile. So, it's equivalent to D sub 60 or the 6th decile. And number 4, the upper quartile naman can be equal to what percentile? So, it's equivalent to 75th percentile. And 5, which quartile determines 50% of the data? So, it's equivalent to the second quartile. So, you see the relationship of the three positions. So, consider the situation below. So, tingnan natin to. Mrs. Rosales gave a 10-item math quiz to her advisory class. So, based on the result, 4 is the median of the scores. So, what does it mean? So, it means that 50% of the students got scores less than or equal to 4. In addition, the other 50% of the class got scores greater than 4. It comes from the definition of median as the middlemost value in a set of data. Yan. Kasi sabi dito sa problem, 4 is the median. So, alam naman natin na ang median ay ang nasa middlemost value. So, ibig sabihin yan, 50% of the students got score less than or equal to 4. So, tandaan yung mga definitions ng mga position ha. So, it is less than or equal to a certain score. So, makikita nyo dito na we are going to consider yung the position in terms of its opposite parts. Halimbawa, gaya dito, kinuha natin yung score less than or equal. So, ano ba yung opposite ng less than? Siyempre, greater than. So, para mas ma-interpret natin yung mga value, kukunin natin yung mga data that is less than or equal or greater than. O kaya, pag iba naman yung mga ginamit na adjective, halimbawa ay shorter or equal, ang opposite naman yan ay taller. O halimbawa naman ay let's say higher, o let's say shorter. Nagamit ko na pala dito kabila. So, shorter or equal, the other one is greater than, and so on. So, let's begin with the interpretation of measures of position of quartiles. So, di ba tatlo yan? Yan, the 25%, 50%, and 75%. So, yung one distribution is divided into 4 equal parts. So, dahil 4 equal parts yan, kailangan natin ng tatlong hati. So, yan ang 1, 2, and 3. So, dahil, di ba yung buong ito, equivalent to 100%. So, itong first division na to, this is 25%. So, ibig sabihin yan, from here to this point, yun ang sinasabi nating 25% or less than or equal to 25%. So, from here to this, ito naman yung less than or equal to 50%. And from here to this, less than or equal to 75%. Okay. Then, yun naman going to the right. So, pwede natin itong sabihin na greater than 25%, greater than 50%, greater than 75%. Wala siyang equal to. Ha? Ang may equal lang ay yung gagamitan ng less than. So, less than or equal to. Pero pag greater than lang yan. Wala nang pang kung ano pa. So, ito yung nagre-represent ng Q sub 1, Q sub 2, and Q sub 3. So, pwede nating sabihin Q sub 1 is equivalent to 25%, Q sub 2 is 50%, and Q sub 3 is 75%. Okay, sa deciles naman, so, ang mga percentage form ay 10%, 20, 30. So, ang representation niya ay D sub 1, D sub 2, D sub 3. So, look at the illustration. Hinati ito sa 10. Kaya, ang divisions na ginamit ay 9. So, ito yung D sub 1 to D sub 9. Tapos, ito yung 10%, 20, 30%, and so on up to 90%. So, katulad din ng definition, ng interpretation dun sa quartile. Halimbawa dito, pwede kong sabihin na from here to here is less than or equal to 10%. Dito naman, less than or equal to 20%. Less than or equal to 30%, and so on. So, sa percentiles naman, so, divided into 100 equal parts. So, ang mga divisions natin ay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hanggang 99%. So, ganun din yun. Ngayon, so, makikita ninyo, may mga values pala na pare-pareho. Kagaya ng Q sub 1. Q sub 1 is equal to P sub 25 kasi pareho silang equivalent to 25%. Same with Q sub 2. Ang Q sub 2 ay equal to D sub 5 equal to P sub 50 because they are all equivalent to 50%. Ang Q sub 3 is equal to P sub 75 because they are both equal to 75%. And so on. So, ayan. Yan yung iba't ibang makikita nyo example na pare-pareho. Yan. So, we need to know the values equal to different measures of position. Kasi magagamit natin yan para mas ma-interpret natin ang data ng. Okay, so let's begin with illustrative example number 1. In preparation for Palarong Pambansa, Mr. Borja, as CALABARZON athletics team coach, asked his 10 players to run 100 meters. Anthony, one of the players, ran completely in 9 minutes, which is 4th decile of the recorded time. What does it mean? Yan. So, meron daw 10 players. So, ang takbo ni Anthony ay nasa 4th decile. So, ang fourth decile equivalent to P sub 40, di ba? So, kailangan natin makuha yung percentage form ng fourth decile. So, ang percentage form niya ay 40%. So, 40% of 10 is equal to 4. Yan. So, kasi bago natin masagot itong tanong na what does it mean, ihimay-himay natin siya. Yan. So, ang 40% ng 10 ay 4. So, lumalabas dyan na 4 players run less than or equal to 9 minutes. And kung 4 players ang run less than or equal to 9 minutes, siyempre, binanggit ko kanina, kukunin natin yung opposite. So, ano naman yung opposite ng nag-run less than or equal to 9 minutes? Siyempre, kukunin naman natin yung nag-run more than 9 minutes. So, para natin makuha yan, kasi alam natin na ang takbo ni Anthony ay nasa fourth decile or 40%. So, ito yung apat na players na nag-run less than or equal to 9 minutes. So, kukunin natin yung yan. So, ito naman yung nag-run more than 9 minutes. Kasi diba, 10 yung players. Eh, apat yung nag-run less than or equal to 9 minutes. So, ibig sabihin yan, 6 yung players that run greater than 9 minutes. So, heto, diba yung 6? So, ano ibig sabihin yan? So, since fourth decile is equal to P sub 40, then this means that 40% of the players run less than or equal to 9 minutes. In other words, 10 times 40% is equal to 4. So, 4 players run less than or equal to 9 minutes. Furthermore, 60% of the players or 6 players run greater than 9 minutes. So, ganyan po ang pag-i-interpret. Iko-consider nyo kung ilan yung naka-reach dun sa less than or equal. At the same time, kukunin nyo din yung greater than plus their percentage form. So I have my own example. So, try natin to. Mrs. Cruz gave a test to her students in statistics. The students finished their test in 35 minutes. This time is the 2.5 decile of the allotted time. What does it mean? Yan. So, ito involved ay decile. So, i-convert natin ang 2.5 decile sa percentile. So, that's equivalent to P sub 25. Okay. So, next, kukunin naman natin ang percentage form. Diba? So, ang P sub 25 is equivalent to 25%. Next, kung ito ay nakatapos ng test in 35 minutes, that belongs to 2.5 decile, ilan naman yung hindi nakatapos? So, that is 75%. So, ano ibig sabihin yan? This means that 25% of the learners finish that test 35 minutes or less. And it means that the test is good because a low decile is considered good. Mean to say that the students finish the test in a short period of time. Yan. Kasi considering na nasa 25% or 2.5 decile ang nakatapos ng test, ibig sabihin, madali lang yung test. Ha? Madali lang ang test kasi natapos na mabilis eh. So, yan. Yan ang isang way to interpret the data using decile. Okay, let's proceed to a problem involving quartile. So, based on the survey conducted by the Barangay Health Office of Barangay San Jose, the third quartile, or Q sub 3, of the ages of 200 grade 10 students of that barangay is 16 years old. What does it mean? Yan. So, kukunin natin yung equivalent ng third quartile. So, equivalent ng third quartile sa percentile ay P sub 75. So, ngayon, ilan ang 75% ng 200? Yan. So, 150. Para malaman natin kung ilan yung age of grade 10 students that are 16 years old. So, ang sabi dito ay nasa third quartile. At yun ay 150. Kasi 75% times 200 is 150. O, next. O, dahil kailangan nating makuha yung opposite. So, laging ganon, ha? Kung ito ay so 150. So, interpretation nito, 150 students are 16 years old or younger than 16 years old. So, dahil alam natin na 150 ang younger or equal to 16 years old, ilan naman ang more than or older than 16 years old? O, syempre, meron na tayong data rito, ha? So, kung may 150 na tayo, so, ma-minus na lang natin siya sa 200. Ayan. So, it's 200 minus 150 is equal to 50. At yun na equivalent to 25%. O, ganun din yan. Pag multiply mo yung 25% sa 200, you will get 50. O, anong ibig sabihin yan? So, it means na 50 students are older than 16 years old. So, ganun ang pag-i-interpret. Kukunin nyo yung both sides. So, explanation. So, this means that 75% of the grade 10 students in Barangay San Jose is 16 years old or younger. And 25% or 50 grade 10 students are older than 16 years old. Okay, next, let's have the next example. Alex says the mathematics test is so difficult. There were 200 test takers, including him. His score is 15 out of 20 and is in the first quartile. Question: would you agree with Alex that the test is difficult? Yan. So, sabi ni Alex, mahirap daw ang test sa math. Sabi rin ninyo yun, diba? Tingnan natin kung tama. So, ang basis dito ay yung score ni Alex. So, ang score ni Alex ay 15 out of 20. At yun ay nasa first quartile. So, kunin muna natin yung percentage ng score ni Alex. So, di ba para makuha yung percentage, ang gagawin natin is 15 divided by 20 times 100%. So, di ba ganyan ang pagkuha ng percentage form? Next, 15 divided by 20 is 0.75 times 100 is 75%. Ayan. So, yan ang score ni Alex. Nasa 75%. Ibig sabihin, Alex passed the test. O, pumasa naman pala si Alex eh. Bakit sabi niya mahirap ang test? Okay. So, next, ang sabi rin dito, ang position ng score ni Alex ay nasa first quartile. So, ang first quartile is equivalent to P sub 25 and that is equal to 25%. Yan. So, kunin natin yung 25% ng 200. So, that there are 200 test takers. So, that will be 50. So, 25% times 200 is 50. So, paano natin i-interpret ito? Since na nasa first quartile lang score ni Alex. Ibig sabihin niyan, Alex score is less than or equal to 50 students. Ayun. Ilan na estudyante? 200. So, para natin malaman kung ilan naman ang nakakuha na mas mataas sa score ni Alex, ima-minus natin ito sa 200. So, 200 minus 50 is 150. So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Ang ibig sabihin niyan, 150 students have score greater than Alex score. Yan. So, kung 150 students ang may mas mataas na score kay Alex, did the majority of the class pass or failed? Siyempre, 150 yan. Ibig sabihin, majority pass. Yan. So, ngayon, dahil majority pass, para malaman natin kung totoo ang sinasabi ni Alex na is the test difficult based on the number of students who passed the test, was the test easy or difficult? So, it is easy. Easy kasi majority pass eh. So, ang tanong, would you agree with Alex? Sagot is no, I don't agree with Alex. So, madali lang test. Maraming pumasa eh, di ba? 150 out of 200. So, it's easy. Ganyan. Ganyan ang pag-interpret ng data using the measures of position. So, let's proceed to another example. The score of Grace in the third quarterly examination in mathematics is in the 8th decile, and the passing score is in the 65th percentile. So, question, did she pass the test? Assume that the values of D sub 8 and P sub 65 are different. Okay. So, ngayon, ang given dito is the 8th decile. So, ang 8th decile is equivalent to P sub 80. Pero ang sabi dito ay magkaiba ang value ng P sub 65 and D sub 8. So, kung magkaiba sila ng value, ano ang mas malaki sa dalawa? Siyempre, ang D sub 8. So, D sub 8 is greater than P sub 65. So, ibig sabihin yan, kung mas malaki ang value ng D sub 8 at yun ang score ni Grace. Yun ang score ni Grace. Nasa 8 decile. So, lalabas na Grace's score is at D sub 8. So, lumalabas niyan, Grace's score is greater than P sub 65. Therefore, she passed the examination. O yan. So, kasi ang passing is 65th percentile. And nasa D sub 8 siya. So, she passed the examination. Okay, next problem. In a group of 20, Kat and some grade 10 students are ranked according to height. Kat's height is at the 80th percentile. How many students are taller than Kat, granting that nobody is as tall as her? Yan, so kunin muna natin ang position ni Kat. Kasi sabi dito, nasa 80th percentile. 20 yung estudyante. So, hindi natin alam kung nasa ng pwesto ni Kat. So, ang 80th percentile equivalent to, so, ayan, ito yung 20, ha? Ito yung 20. Nasaan kaya si Kat dito? So, ang 80th percentile equivalent to 80%. So, kunin natin ang value ng P sub 80. So, using the formula, yan. So, meron tayong 80 over 100 times 20 plus 1. So, 20 yung N, tapos yung formula plus 1, diba? So, ang formula, tandaan ninyo, it's K over 100 times N plus 1. Okay, so simplifying, we will get this. So, 16.8. So, position po ang hinahanap natin. So, kailangan sakto ang sagot. So, rounded to whole number. So, that's equivalent to 17. So, yun ang position ni cat pang 17. So, pang 17. So, ito si cat. So, cat is taller to less than or equal to 17 students. So, yan si cat. So, ito yung 17 students. Okay. Pero ang tanong ay, how many students are taller than cat? O, kita na ang sagot, pero i-clarify pa rin natin. Yan. So, dahil 20 sila, tapos pang 17 si cat, so merong tatlo. So, there are 3 students taller than cat. So, ito yung tatlo. So, ang sagot ay there are 3 students taller than cat. So, yan po yan. Okay, heto ngayon. So, sasagutan natin yung learning task 1 para yung iba, kayo na magsasagot. Consider the situation below and answer the questions that follow. Teacher Lisa, the health coordinator of San Jose National High School, recorded the height of 40 students in a grade 10 class for computing body mass index. Based on her report, Nadine's height is in the 60th percentile or P sub 60. Assume that the height of each student is different to each other. Ayan, so i-compare natin dito yung height ng tatlo. Ni Nadine. Hindi. Ito pala yung mga tanong. Yan. So, sagutan natin yung 5 tanong. Una muna, how many students are shorter than Nadine? Okay, so ang sabi rito ay, saan ba? Okay, so Nadine's height is in the 60th percentile. So that means to say, there are, yan ang basis natin. So there are 60% of the students who are shorter or equal to Nadine's height. So based on this data. Next, how many students are taller than Nadine? O dahil 60% ang shorter, di ima-minus natin sa 160. So 100 minus 60 is 40. So lalabas, there are 40% of the students who are taller than Nadine. Yan. Next, if Katrine's height is in the 3rd quartile, how would you compare it with Nadine's height? So, ang height ni Katrine ay nasa 3rd quartile. So, ang equivalent ng 3rd quartile. So, Q sub 3 is equal to P sub 75 or 75%. So, lalabas, Katrine's height is 75%. So, i-compare natin yung dalawa. Si Nadine has 60%, Katrine has 75%. It goes that Katrine's height is 75th percentile and Nadine's height is only 60th percentile. That means Katrine is taller than Nadine. Okay, next. If May's height is in the 4th decile. So, 4th decile, that means D sub 4 is equal to P sub 40 or 40%. So, May is 40%. Ko-compare kay Nadine, which is 60%. So, paano natin i-compare yung kay May? So, sasabihin natin na si May is shorter than Nadine. Ayan. So, Si Maymay yung pinakabida rito, kaya yun ang tayo magsisimula sa pangalan ni Maymay. O, pwedeng sabihin, Nadine is taller than Maymay. Hindi, kasi si Maymay ang pinaka tinatanong dito. So, although pareho lang ng meaning yung dalawa, kaya lang, let's follow what is being asked in the sentence. So, Maymay is shorter than Nadine. Next, if May's height is 4 decile. So, ganun pa rin. So, 40% si Maymay. Si Katrin naman ay 75. So, how will you answer that? Ganun pa rin. Maymay is shorter than Katrin. So, yan po. Ganyan po kung paano ng data using the measures of position. So, that's it for your assignment. You perform learning tasks 2 and 3. Write your answer in the yellow paper. Okay, so I hope you learned something today. As always, thank you for listening and keep safe, everyone. So, bye-bye. I am Mambi, your very lovely math teacher. Charot. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.